Alright guys, jumping right back into the tournament for Elixir and Regen. A little bit of deja vu here. We are going against the Kilika Beasts. Guado Glories going against the Luca Goers. So it feels like in the majority of recent tournaments, or tournaments of recent memory, we've been facing off against the Kilika Beasts. And yeah, I mean, we're still doing it. But let's see how this goes. This is gonna sound silly, but at a certain point, like I'm gonna have to double check like the save edit on this particular save and think like, did I mess something up? Like, did I somehow hard lock it to where like we always face the Kilika Beast? I mean that shouldn't be possible. If we had hard locked it, it would automatically throw us into the final match every time we started a tournament, which. I mean, I don't even think you can lock it because it's gonna automatically reset. Sorry, there's like that's the behind the scenes. Like what I'm describing, I don't think is possible. But we have faced the Kilika Beast a lot more often than we thought we would. So there is that as well. I guess this actually does beg the question then. So is there something that actually is there logic to the games? Like that you don't play in? Like, is it somehow like based off stats? Because initially, I mean, a big assumption on my part, initially I had just assumed that it was random. It was just a coin flip, and it was like, someone won the game. But the Kilika Beasts are reliably winning, or sorry, the original Aurochs, whatever you want to call them, but they're reliably winning games, it feels like. And, you know, not like seeded games. Like, they are from the very beginning of the bracket all the way to the end of the tournament. Like, they are winning every game. So is it like something where like the system knows their stats and then tries to do like a comparison where it goes like, oh yeah, Waka beats Blappa, you know, and then Dotto beats Eager. Like, I don't know what players people have, but like I wonder if there's some sort of logic there. It would be worth testing out, and I might do that. I mean, best way to test it out is actually really simple. So, I mean, I do this off camera, but what I would do is I would just have a save edit where I make one team all level 1 and then the other team all 99, and then run that tournament like 20 times, and then see how often the level 1 team wins versus the level 99 team. And if the level 99 team wins 100% of the time, then you know that there's some logic built into the game that dictates like, hey, Waka's level 99. No one can beat him. And, you know, it'd be interesting. Maybe I don't know, maybe I will record it. Okay, this is going to sound so dumb. Maybe, I don't think it's actually that dumb, but sometimes I record things just as like, just because I don't want to be the dude who's like, yeah, I did this, trust me, it works this way. Like, I want proof, you know? I want like video proof where I'm like, 20 times this happens, like, believe me, you know? Like, I want to like give evidence to it, because I know, you know, I know people on the internet, like, not necessarily in any particular community, but more so as like the internet as a whole. Sometimes people will tell you things and they just won't be true. And it's not even like maliciously, it's just, you know, they heard it from someone who heard it from someone who heard it from someone else. So like when you record it, it's like, yeah, like you saw those Aurochs win 20 times, you know, and it's just kind of cool. Maybe I will try that. It'll be interesting. Because if they do win out like 100% of the time, like, I don't know, that I feel like that would be so cool, because that makes it deeper, you know? Like that makes the wins and losses deeper. That puts reason behind them. It's not so much a coin flip as there is actual reasoning behind the things you see, which is always good, because you don't want RNG grossly like deciding things in your game. Like, it's okay in some, like, I don't know, I have a soft spot for a lot of RNG and in card games and stuff, because those are, I don't know, it's just fun. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I should stress as well, RNG is probably, this is gonna get a little bit off topic from Final Fantasy because it's clearly not a professional game, but Like, when you have like esports and stuff, RNG in that case is pretty bad. At least it feels like it is. I don't know, there's nothing worse than like having real life dollars on the line and then like having your fate decided by a coin toss. It just feels so awful, you know? It's more cool when it's like I'll use, there's a card game called Hearthstone, which is actually a good example because they love RNG over there. But they like things like cast a spell, any spell in the game or something, like cast any spell in the game, like that stuff like that's like cool because you're just like, oh, what's gonna happen? But like when it's a competition, you're like, all right, this is stupid. But yeah, that was a little bit of a tirade, but the core concept is because Final Fantasy isn't like, there's nothing real on the line. Like I don't know, it's cool if they have RNG or not. Like it doesn't really matter. Looks like Dean leveled up, more pass HP. You know when you're talking about something, you just kind of lose your point in the middle there. I don't know. I was thinking like, oh, like RNG's cool for Final Fantasy because like it doesn't matter. It's a casual game. But then I'm also like, I don't want RNG. I'd rather there be a reason behind the wins. I don't know. It's tough to say. But yeah, we'll probably run that test. We'll have a team that's level 1, all level 1s. I mean, I'll even throw them in. No, I won't throw them in bad positions. That might mess up the actual test. Like if I put like Larby in the goal. And then like, you know, like our guy Ronso as a defender, like inherently that would probably screw up a bunch of stuff. So I won't do that, but we'll figure out some way to kind of simulate, you know, a really uneven game. I wonder if different teams would have like different win rates too, like a different percentage likelihood to win. I don't think so. I think it'd be player based and just off the stats. But then again, it could be nothing based. It could be nothing actually dictating that. It could just be like whatever happens, happens. Which isn't, it wouldn't be unusual in my opinion to have that. That wouldn't surprise me in any way. Because I don't know if they would have found value in adding something like that. So here's the main thought process I have behind some of these features that are added in these games and such, is I understand the concept of like, you know, there's like a development cycle, there's like a, you know, you have X amount of time to make the game. So I imagine sometimes like when deciding on these features of like, oh, this is gonna happen and it's gonna be really cool, the question might be like, I mean, like that's really cool and it's a really good idea, but we just don't have time. Like we can't make that a thing at this point. Like we gotta, Xanarkin still doesn't exist in our development and it's a big location. We need to make that in the engine, you know? So it's always difficult to know like where that cuts off. And actually, I mean, it's famously some games where, you know, had difficulty. I think, I mean, this might just be an urban myth, but I believe Fallout New Vegas had that, where it was like a famously short development cycle. It was like 18 months or something, and they only had that long to make the game. So like some of the concepts they had just didn't work out. I don't know. I know there's like a bunch of hate towards Bethesda for stuff like that, but I don't think it's actually that, like, I don't know. It's tough because it's like, it's a business, but it's like combining an art form with a business, and it's weird. I do remember, I forget, it was an interview from one of the team, and they did kind of shout out Bethesda in terms of one of the benefits of like making the game is they had all these assets from Fallout 3 they could utilize. So, I mean, that was nice. And I imagine, like, that's for a lot of games. Like, 10-2 had a bunch of, like, you know, things they could utilize from Final Fantasy X. Even more so than any other game. It was set in the exact same locations. Like, it was, I mean, I can't imagine how easy that was to port over. Actually, I've never looked it up. I'm curious how long Final Fantasy X-2's development cycle was. I mean, no offense to the game, but it feels like, in terms of scenario and stuff and like scenes, it wouldn't have taken that much to make them. So like, think about it like this. So what new scenes exist in 10-2? I mean, Kilika's definitely not reused. Besaid's all reused, the majority of Besaid. Then Luca's pretty much all reused. Man, High Road's like it's all fairly reused, right? Am I forgetting anything? I mean, I know I'm forgetting locations that did exist, you know, underneath the like statues of the faith or whatever, where you pray in the first game. Like obviously that was different, but it feels like they definitely had a lot to work with in terms of already made assets. Blitzball was already made, and then they changed it. Sorry, that's just my rage coming out. I just want to control Unipain or Riku while I'm playing Blitz. I want to control anyone, honestly. I'm actually not picky on the player. I just want to move around my players. I don't know. I do think it's a really... I do really like 10-2's like Blitzball mode, because it's just so different in terms of like what you can do, and like outside of the games there's a lot more to it. But I don't know, I'm just a huge fan of adding rather than subtracting, so I would have rather they like kept the original and on top of it like added like this mode, or you know, kind of like, you know how like some of those like football games, Madden or whatever, have like don't they have like a general manager mode and then like be the star mode? Almost like that, like be the Blitzball star, and then you could also do like a manage the stadium mode. Like they could have been two different things. And then you could have like intersected them with like playing your managed team. And I don't know, it would have been interesting. I don't know if they'll ever revisit Blitzball at this point though. Like I think it's definitely up in the air still. I mean, I don't think it's an impossibility. Like it's not like it'll never come. Like sorry, like it's just kind of questionable where they would introduce it. You know, like it's a difficult question. I mean, Final Fantasy XIV seems the most reasonable. It seems like the most reasonable area, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, it looks like a little bit of experience for the opposing team. They are all level 99, so it doesn't really matter. And then a bunch of experience for us, so that's nice. And this is what I mean. We like what 7-1 to the against the original Aurochs or something. It was crazy. We crushed them. Anyways, Eager's contract expired with the Guadagoris. He is gone, and Blappa's now with the Guadagoris for 22 games. Nimric's contract expired. Oh, they're fools. They signed Jamal instead for 13 games. Yeah, 7-1 against the... I mean, at least we beat Dotto for that top scorer. And then Glories take it 3-2. So we got Regen as a prize. I don't know who can learn it. I think someone can, though. Because I think it's, like, one that a lot of people can learn. But, yeah. We'll do Deem. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. When you come back, we're going to be playing more Blitzball. Till next time.